my guys, gals, and goops. It's me, the guy that does intros now just to spice things up a little bit. I really hope you like it more than my haircut because, seriously, look at this thing.
What? It's just an ordinary... Oh my goodness!
It's not good. But too late to complain now. It's me, Nate. Just Nate. Before we begin, I just really want to apologize for procrastinating. You know, this is the first one of the year, and it's March. Really don't like that. Mostly been working on my 50 not 50, no. Why did I say 50? My 13 styles redone, or revisited, revised. Whatever it's called. Check it out right here, if the icon appears. Yeah. With all of that said, let us not waste any time. Let's get right into it.
Hello. Seems a bit long since our last journey to the unknown, hasn't it? Do not fret. I shall make it up to you in a spectacular fashion. Our next subject will not only introduce worlds previously unseen, but also show a menace to heroes already shown in great detail. This particular being has actually been seen long before, all the way back in the very first tale of this world. Let us not waste time and proceed with our story. Our subject for today is a madman, a scourge upon numerous worlds known as Thowser, the Mad King of Titan. The name alone strikes fear into most denizens across the galaxy. He is a brutal warlord whose trail of blood stretches far across the stars. Although, in order to properly discuss his rampages and his twisted motivations, we must first jump into the past. The name Mad King of Titan is more than a title he gave upon himself. He was formerly a king, that of a world named Titan. It was the 8th world of the 8 Worlds Alliance. This alliance was meant to keep peace across the quadrant where the planets across the Union reside. This world is covered in lava and is scorching hot. While the surface seems initially uninhabitable from a glance, life has managed to thrive there in a prosperous kingdom, whose populace somewhat resembles the turtles of Earth. It's a strange land, but many call it home. Thowser rules this land with an iron fist. He's not the only person there to help him, however. He has a brother named P-Rose of Titan. He is a popular prince who gained said favor with his wit and charm. Thowser was not a vain man, so he did not care for the spotlight being more in focus on his brother. This changed when he faced a crisis unlike any other. The population had grown too large to sustain itself. Food shortages, at least for the only food that can grow there, had become tragically plentiful. Resources were dwindling day by day. The alliance he was in did not help, as they did not want to risk terrific pain and potential death from the heat of the lava that covered the surface. He consulted with many advisors in order to resolve the predicament, but found none of the proposals feasible or truly helpful in the long term. He even consulted with Kamak. The name is an acronym for Knowledgeable, Artificial, Magical, Anti-Ionic Computer. It is an advanced AI that ruled the planet before he was dropped off there mysteriously as an infant. Even such a well-trusted machine could not give a satisfactory answer to the madman. desperate and insane, he proposed to kill half the population. The talks of this solution were initially kept within the halls of the kingdom. Bowser was so adamant the plan would work that he didn't want this idea to die in secret, so he used the next opportunity to speak to the public to see what they would think about the plan. He was expecting reverence for such a twisted plan, especially in the way that he had worded it. He did receive some support, but others were not willing to save the planet through genocide. Many of these supporters included P. Rose himself, who used this charm to rally many behind him. The civil war sparked by this debate not only led to the forced abdication of Bowser, but gave him the name Mad King of Titan. Ironically, the announcement that was made to save the planet led to its downfall, as resources were squandered. The entire population of Titan was wiped out. Of course, Bowser fled the planet upon seeing the writing on the wall, taking a handful of his most skilled loyalists with him. These constituents were warriors of the highest caliber, trained in skill of combat and tactics unrivaled in that region of space. The most skilled ones were collectively known as the Shelled Order, who were all the adopted children of the despot. This murderous group consists of Ludwig Maul, Iggy Kalave, Wendy Midnight, and Morton Obsidian. His brother also managed to escape the carnage. He would later go down to Earth years later and meet the Avenging Fighters, where he gained the hero moniker of Starsley. The two brothers would clash time and time again, as Bowser would commit horrific onslaughts across the galaxy. He went from planet to planet to commit genocide for the benefit of their populations, starting with the worlds he once allied with, even getting the Shelled Order to rule some of these planets. One word to describe this horrid man's tactics is cruel. It was responsible for the deaths of billions, forever altering the histories of various civilizations. Another word for his actions is ironic. He has caused many to perish, yet he only does it in order to bring peace. More precisely, he's slain half of their population. As you may have surmised through simple deduction, that such a feat is quite difficult to enact, even with the aforementioned Shelled Order. That is why he adopts more to aid in his efforts. Some of his so-called children were ripped away from their families, while the Mad Titan committed mass slaughter upon their people. He then trains them in a similar manner that the Shelled Order and the rest of his adopted children undergo. Most fail to meet the rigorous expectation and die. However, it is the rare ones that come out on top that are usually the most important. However, as fascinating as those lives are, their stories will most assuredly be told another day. That was his main goal for a while, to recruit. However, he discovered something that would greatly help him in his bloody journey: the Infinity Gems. The last time I recounted a set of powerful gems, I merely glossed over them. I did not go into detail of their properties, their powers. I will not make the same mistake again. Considering how powerful these are, I think it would be a disservice to do so. Let us start with the Power Gem. This gem can expel its vast amount of power to anything it is targeted to, damaging or completely destroying the intended target. Space. This gem can warp the fabric of space to allow an item, individual, or even group of individuals to move to another location. Next is reality. It is sometimes referred to as either the Ether Force or, most recently, the Prime Ether. This gem can distort anything, except the other things the gems can control. It can create anything and project anything, like a genie in a bottle. This gem has other properties, of course. But if you saw the first episode of this series, you would know them by now. Next, we have the Spirit Gem. This gem can separate the spirit from the body and place another spirit inside an empty vessel. Separated souls can be placed inside the gem itself. Mind. This gem can alter any aspect of the mind, including memories, personality, or intelligence. Finally, there is time. This gem can fast forward, pause, and even reverse time on either a specific item or individuals. It is so powerful it can even affect an entire location. This could include a specific area or even the entire universe. Obtaining these gems was not an easy feat, as heroes clashed against him time and time again. One of these attempts was explored in the very first tale. He used a variety of gadgets and weapons, even utilizing a stolen circus helicopter that he called the Cloudcopter. While that particular exploit gave him a less threatening stigma, his next few exploits surely did strike fear back into the denizens of Earth, even if he did lose. These gems have also appeared in other stories, in case you want to check them out. What made him so dangerous was the fact that, despite being slain on many occasions, he returns from the grave again and again, as if nothing happened to him. The reason for this is because he found the secret to immortality through a special potion that uses mysterious green mushrooms that are only found in Ashroom. While they are consumed by Ashroomians, they are only done so for health. They are occasionally used for resurrection when it is deemed that the patient treated is not going to the glory of Overhaula. With this tool at Bowser's disposal, he breaks free of the bonds of death themselves, just to accomplish his goal. Eventually, the most horrible thing happened. He managed to gather all of the gems and assembled them all into an especially designed glove called the Power Gauntlet. He defeated many by using the gems, mainly the Power Gem, which transformed him into a gigantic version of himself that has sharper claws, sharper teeth, sharper spikes, and an overall appearance that looks far more menacing than his original form. He was aided by Mephisto, the King of Demons, who only joined to later turn on the Mad King later. The acquisition of these mystic stones led to conflict with various heroes across not just Earth, but the heroes across the galaxy. As I said, their story will be told another time. An example of such conflict is with the Eye of Minato Moto, an artifact wielded by the visionary supreme Shulk Strange, as it houses the Gem of Time. Despite the best efforts of the heroes, the gems were successfully wielded. Once done, he wasted no time and enacted his horrible scheme. With a snap of his fingers, he turned half of the population of the entire universe to dust. His mantra horrifically rang true against the heroes. You cannot beat us. He was fortunately defeated by a recently resurrected adopted daughter of his. The state she was in was agonizing, for she previously turned against Bowser. While she did not die fighting her father, she still was punished through her resurrection. Unfortunately, that would be his downfall, as she would distract her abductees long enough to slice his hands off and take the power for herself. She then proceeded to undo all the damage caused by Thouser by rewinding time back before the snap. Only a select few remember what truly happened, including Thouser, who was quite upset that his greatest achievement was snuffed out like nothing happened. He swears revenge, but knows the galaxy is after him now, including his so-called prodigy, so he decided to lay low for the time being. In this simpler life, he was stewing, seething, and most importantly, plotting his way to achieve his goals once more. How would he do this? Well, the plan he would enact later on, not be his, but someone else's. But that is a story for much, much later. For now, we will end this tale. I assure you that all that I've teased here will come to fruition. They will all become stories. However, this story has now reached its conclusion. I do hope you found it satisfactory. I bid you farewell until next time, where I discuss another villain. One more grounded to Earth, but still a threat all the same. I hope you've enjoyed.
Well, that was certainly an episode, wasn't it? It was worth the wait, right? Guys? Right? I'm calling it. This isn't even gonna pass triple digits, like usual. But it is interesting, especially with the intro attached, wasn't it? Now, on to the design notes. While he is largely based on Bowser, there's a lot of elements of Thanos in there, too. The skin's purple, the chin is, that. It's that shoulder armor, little spikes on the side, it's a nice detail. Really looks more like Bowser. The bluish, orangish armor, that all comes from Bowser. His head is clean shaven, so I can put a helmet on there, which, the brow of it, shows his eyebrows. That's really cool, isn't it? Until then, I'll see you guys later. Bye.